All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. In the last video, number 40 that you see up there, what I did was I took the console app and made it work with our C# library functions, and then rather than reusing those, I put some inline ones in there for basically an is it valid input decimal and is it valid input integer type of thing. Then I thought, well, why don't I take those and put them in my library? But I had a problem trying to do it, and I think I know what the problem is, but I'm going to try to show you right now. And what it is, I believe, is notice these are all public static. But when I created these originally, I didn't have the word static in there. So I believe that's why it wasn't working. So I took it, I rebuilt it. So now let's bring up the fifth iteration here. So it's fifth iteration pay console. Once I find it. There it is. All right, and I'm going to make that my startup project. And what I want to do right now is everywhere that I have come in and did this attempt here, I want to see now if I type in validation both dot, there is the attempt to get decimal input. So there it is. So I should be okay now, hopefully. Let's see if we are. So that's price per piece. I've got to back up here. There's hourly rate. There's hours worked. Come on, you. There's the pieces made. I've already got, we've got the price per piece in there already. All right, I had to leave for a bit. So again, what I want to do here is to let you know that in this file, in the validation both file, I changed it so the attempt to get valid integer input was now a public static, and also that the attempt to get valid decimal input was also a public static. All right, so I think those are fine. And now when I come into here, I should, keyword being should in just a minute, be able to take all this stuff that's not being used anymore and get rid of it. We've got this, get integer input, and we've got the get decimal input, so they can all be replaced. So now we should be able to come in here again and say validation both dot attempt this. We need it here. So that one's okay. We need it here. You'll notice I'm typing it. I could just hit the tab, but the main reason I'm not is sometimes when you do that, sometimes at least, it doesn't seem to work. So let's just check all the attempts in here. Make sure they all have validation both in front of them. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, looks like we're missing. Nope. We are here. Validation both. Okay, and I think that's all of them. Yep. So what we can do for now, just to be sure, is I'm going to highlight all of this so we're absolutely certain we're not using it anymore. think that was okay to go that far. We'll do a file save all. We will run the program again. Let's let the clock stop here. All right, so now we should be able to check everything. 1, nothing. Okay, cannot be found. Non-numeric, good. Out of range. Out of range. Let's just try 40 and 25 in just a minute, so nothing. Notice it's hours worked and its hourly rate as it should be. This should be 1,000, and it is. All right, so our number 1 worked. Number 2. How about 50? Nah, put nothing in there first. Again, pieces made. And let's see. So that was pieces made and price per piece. And let's say, I don't know, 0.75. All right, so we had 100 at 0.75, $75. That is correct. Let's do number 3, which is our commission worker. All right, let's try 0.1. It's 10%. And sales, nothing. Non-numeric. Out of range negative. Out of range positive. And let's do 10,000. 10% of 10,000 would be 1,000. That's correct. Okay, so that works. Finally, let's put a salary, nothing. Non-numeric, out of range, out of range. And finally, let's put in something that is within range. Okay. And 5 should get us out. Okay, so everything works. So the next thing that we have to do here is we now have 5 iterations of the payroll console. Now, if we look, I'm looking for GUI payroll console. First iteration pay GUI is right here. And we don't have any second ones. So let's take a quick look. Let's close this. And let's take a quick look at our first iteration pay GUI. I don't even know if this is complete, to be honest with you, so we'll look. Okay, there's our start form. Okay, our commission, our hourly, our piece worker, and our salaried. That's good. Everything is looking good. Now, I don't know, again, did we put in the code that we can go back and forth? I don't know. We did not. All right, so when I come back then, what I'll do is I'll start by putting in the code so I can go back and forth between the different forms. All right, and I don't know if we can actually take something like that and put that into a library or not, but we can try. Where we would pass in the one we wanted to hide, we would pass in the one we wanted to show. We can try that and see if that works. And if it doesn't, fine, we'll just go on from here. In fact, maybe what I'll do first is just make it work so we can go back and forth in all these. All right. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this one. Again, when we come back again, we're going to be looking at this one. I don't know if I put anything in here. So if we run this, okay, well, there you go. We've got an explanation. But, okay, we can go to commission. And it says piece on it, so something's wrong, but that's fine. We'll fix that up. All right. And I don't know why that's not staying there when we put it on, but we'll fix that too. All right, so I'll pick it up there next time, and we're going to try to do basically put everything in there that we put into the other one. So we want to make we'll only have one, we'll have probably two versions of this one. All right. And in the first one, we'll just try to see if we can hook up to the validation library and maybe just use what is in the validation both, but just some of them, is their input, etc. Okay. All right. I'll be back with that shortly.